Hello from Colombe. There's another chair. It needs to be, well, there are three more that need to be stripped. I've got one down. We are doing a lot of research how we should finish the frames. So that's a whole different discussion. And, well, we'll talk about that later then. And I decided to actually time this time how long it takes me to strip down one chair, because I have no idea. I can only give you a guesstimate and, don't want to do that. So I'm going to actually film that this time and let's see how many hours it actually takes. So, looking at the back here, you can see a lot of the stitching and repairs that were done. It's really quite fascinating. This is folded over as a triangle. And here you can see again these wonderful seams where they added. So that's something we need to think about, how we're going to reupholster this. Okay, so here we go. 2 hours and 40 minutes into taking everything off. I have to finish this. And on those lovely, when you see those, they're so mean. It's great. Very happy with the progress. It is very time consuming. It's not fast, but it's really a lovely, it is satisfying in the end when you look at the chair that is stripped. It's great. And then there's the question of what we do with the frames. We'll see. So, second chair had a little bit of an issue. Tiny didn't affect the integrity of the chair, but it's always good to address that before one does any further steps. Yep, everything has cured overnight. And no, I did not film how I did this because it's just wood glue and clamps. So anyways, looking good. I'm going to continue to take off all the lovely tacks. Yep, I got everything off. Look at that. Beautiful horsehair, all intact. Very nice. No damage here. It's nicely packed with horsehair and it's all sewn on. So this is all hand stitched onto the seat. And the springs are absolutely fantastic. So we're not going to touch it. Don't repair something that doesn't need to be repaired. Okay, let me do the back here. We are not touching these either because they are in such good shape, the armrests. Hand stitched, beautiful, filled with horsehair, very firm. There's no So we leave this, and now I'm just finishing up, taking everything out of the back. And then I can go to chair number 3. Now, the reason this goes much faster is this was the crowbar that I had. It's fantastic, it has its use, but with these extremely tight spaces here, this did not work. So, with that generous donation that we received, I ordered a completely different one. And this just goes under the head of the tacks, pulls them out, and does not damage the wood. It's total game changer. So I'm really, really thrilled. So here you can see all these little tacks. Underneath those are more tacks, and I already took 2 layers off. So it's incredible and quite honestly stressful for the old wood to have more of them in there. That's why most restorers today will use staples, because they are much finer and they do not damage the wood as much. So there we got 3 layers of fabric removed. I was completely fascinated by how many tacks are right here in. It's just a small number. It's the horse here. Okay, so last step for now is, since we keep this intact, so not touching this, it's great. Thank you so much. Very happy. But what I do need to do is wipe this off just real quick. But what I still need to do is to take off this. It's nice, but as you can see, this will not do. I mean, that's just not a natural posture to have this so bowed in. So next step, take the back out. So here we have the exposed back. That is amazing how blue, green, I don't know, this used to be. And then look what that faded to. It's the same fabric. It's the continuation. So the beige we see today was everything but original. This was very colorful, totally interesting. It really gives us a lot to think about. So I'd just like to show something here real quick that I find incredibly interesting. Today we use fabric very generously. We do huge allowances. So we have fabric hanging over and then cutting it off and discarding it. Here we have something that is just history detectives. I think very fascinating to see. They added this. This is hand stitched. Excuse me. As you can see, there's the seam. And then it was ironed out. And it was put together. It wasn't quite enough. So you don't say, oh, well, I just get to the next piece or buy a couple of meters more. No, it was they made do and fitted perfectly. I mean, it was perfectly put together here with a piece that was a remnant piece. That is totally fascinating. So if we get a fabric, I might do the exact same thing, because now I can say that is historically accurate. That's what was done in 1770 about. And so therefore, I can do that in 2025. So I know it's getting towards spring, and eventually we'll have our first bed and breakfast guests for the year. And the Grand Salon is, of course, always available for the bed and breakfast guests. We're working on so many projects there, but one thing that we're doing right now as well, which we just decided to do, is take yet another piece out of our ginormous storage room. I mean, look at that armoire. Isn't that fascinating? I mean, it is so tall. I love it. Anyway, so Trumeau for downstairs. It will actually do exactly what a true Trumeau does. True Trumeau. It will be a mirror between two windows. That's what Trumeau actually means. And so we bought this Trumeau, no glass. Comes from a chateau. At least that's what we were told. And this needs to be restored. And Stuart and I are going to start that basically now. And now let me take that downstairs into the room. So, this is incredibly heavy because it's all solid wood. And this is incredibly heavy, and that is before there will be a mirror put back in before we actually install this. Okay, I'm going to turn the camera off now and take it downstairs. Okay, let's go and clean this a bit because it is really filthy. In someone's attic or so, or barn. Hey, where does one put something this big? So there you can see there are some serious cracks. Well, they're not serious, but there are some very visible cracks. What I'm going to do is I'm going to slather on some of the wonderful gypsum repair that I have, and then we are working on it to get this cleaned out and smooth again, because it will look a bit rough. So how about that? Much cleaner. This is now very clean, a little more boring because the dirt also showed up the dimensionality a bit. Just drying off the last bits because you can't leave moisture on it for the simple reason that this is gypsum and it would dissolve it. So, and then we would have a really defective mirror, so or frame. So not good, but we're good. It all looks really nice. So I'm now starting to, I'm going to put this on the work table, and I will try to straighten out the bottom edge. It's down here. It's really arched. This side here where my foot is bent backwards, and this is not straight. So I'm going to try to straighten that out a bit more. Let's see how that works. So the one thing, good boy Aiden, hello, that we can do to mend this a bit slowly, don't do this fast. Interesting. So I'm going to put just a little bit of water on it, not much. It's not supposed to drip. And then I'm missing a piece of wood, which I'm going to get now. Okay, so here we have a piece of wood. Nothing dramatic, nothing great to see. We're going to put it against there. And so this is now tight. I can put my hand in here. So it's not quite right. Now we don't want this all to be perfect. It's not the point of this exercise. But this already is a bit closer. going to put a piece of wood underneath that will help to. No, there, okay. I'll be good, I think so. So, let's get that. And I can tell you I can't put my hand in here. I'm going to do a bit more water. So in order to do this, I have to go back every day to make sure that there is some progress. Appa. So, where you could see me put a hand in, I can't even put a hair in there right now. So it's wet. We're going to leave it like this and hope that in about a week or so, this all has straightened out and this can be put against the wall and look proper. Okay, let's have a look. So, all lined up, piece of wood. And where I could put my fingers through, right here, I can't even put in a thin nail. So it's straightening out, but it will take a couple of days for this to work out like it's supposed to. And so there was a little breakage or a loose piece, which I just glued in. So this has to cure overnight, and tomorrow morning is yet another day. And we're going to check. A week, almost 2 weeks.
Yes.
Weaknesses?
Yeah.
Oop.
Okay.
How is it?
It's pretty good, actually. Let's see.
Yeah, it's still a bit, but at this we cannot, because then we would have to basically break this.
Right.
How do you want to get that off? Because it needs to be cut off. You can't.
The nail?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to my metal cutter and I'll just cut that off later. Yeah. Okay.
More? Yep. What I've done lately is when you have a little plaster loss, just a little.
Just a bit of a filler there.
Wood filler, actually, because it hardens very nicely. And in the end, once it's repainted, because this will be painted, and a little gilded. As long as it's smooth, we don't have the hard edges, almost doesn't show up.
Okay, so
Yes.
The current progress then of this, the bottom has been flattened. You did a great job after over a week, right? Of
A week and a half
spraying and flattening that out with the clamps. And we are at a point now where we can go buy the mirror, right?
Yes.
We need to buy a mirror that will fit into this frame, and now it'll be nice and fitting into that frame.
It's true, and I'm finding we could most certainly find an antique mirror and putting it in. We are going with a new mirror because it's just.
I mean, it's a custom size. The ability to find an antique mirror exactly that size was slim and none.
Because this hung once in between two windows in a chateau, and then that was demolished. So Brocanteur got it, and so that's why we have it. God, that was I carried that an hour.
I
and a
remember
half.
that. That was part of a vlog. That was a brocante we went to where Patrick carried that around the.
It was great.
Yeah.
No, not that, but so it's cleaned now. Also, Stuart will fill in this with a
Yes, it's got
mold.
this little pearl beading here. There's a space here where it's gone, and I'll do a replacement. I'll piece for that. I'll create a mold, and then I'll repair that. And then we're going to paint and do the gold gilding on this as well.
Yeah. So the flower swags here, the ribbons, everything that's raised up here will be gold gilded, and so will be this
And the outside
frame.
of the frame around the mirror. Yeah.
And the rest will be painted. Now this is one of those, we don't know yet if we like it. So it's interesting. I'm gonna just paint a little bit,
Right.
so we can look at it and go, yeah, this looks great, or
Maybe we need to rethink it. Who knows, right?
yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and so, and then for the chair set that you've been working on, really good progress with that. The next step, I think, is you're going to try to tackle the settee itself, right? The big
Yes.
settee. So
That's another
that's
word.
quite a bit bigger challenge.
But I mean, so
think.
at first it took me 4 hours for a chair to take that apart, but it's also not just tearing everything off, but carefully removing things because I use the fabric as my pattern.
Right.
And we also were kind of history detectives, right? So
Right.
that was actually really, really cool. Figuring out how, in like 1760, how people upholstered and how the tailors or seamstresses or whatever they're called, upholsterers, I suppose. But I mean, finely stitched so together so it fit right perfectly.
Yeah, using every bit of fabric that they had in order to put it together to make it work on the upholstery.
It was great. I mean, great fun and horribly cold in here. But
It is.
But no, I mean, then it was really cold. It was like -5,
Right.
-6. It was really, really bitterly cold. But so,
Oh, I remember what we didn't mention.
what did
We wanted to talk about the actual basket motif that's on this Trumeau, and that it just so happens that the fabric that we had just gotten in Paris for the chair set we were just talking about has a basket that looks almost exactly like this tilted basket, flowers
Yes.
in it, and it couldn't be a more perfect Trumeau upholstery fabric match.
And so,
And we discovered, we figured that out, and we were very excited about it. And it wasn't that it was an intentional thing we were doing.
Of course it was.
Maybe subconsciously we knew that we needed to do that. But, very exciting that it's like the so similar of a design.
yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah. So that's it for this episode. Have a great weekend.
Like, subscribe, and if you want to support the renovation of the chateau, you can join us on Patreon.
And we'll see you next week.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Au revoir.
Goodbye.
Bye. If you enjoyed this video, please use the like feature to let us know. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our Journey to the Chateau YouTube channel if you would like to see more. Once you've subscribed, you can tap the notification bell in order to ring it, which will allow you to receive all notifications from our channel. Thank you.